Hello everyone. I am making this video because this is a build for a almost infinite restoration build, and it requires the Praxic Blade and Strongholds and Sunbreaker as a Titan. So basically, I'm gonna show you what we can do. So basically, when you guard, okay, here I'll show. So when you guard, you get restoration times 2, basically infinitely. Um, you get restoration times 2 off the rip, but then every time you get hit, it just keeps coming back. And then also, you put the healing grenade with it, therefore you can get more restoration. And then with the solar being on the sword, as long as you have what I'll show you later, it spawns these, which give you even more restoration, including Soul Invictus as well. And then you also spawn fire sprites for more health. It will help very much with the dungeon solo flawless if you're going for that, which I'm currently working on right now. So far I've gotten to the final boss, almost killed, but I gave up just so I can make this video real quick. Go ahead and get it out. But it is a very, 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 very powerful build. Um, okay. So I will show um, what it can do. So basically, on the Praxic Blade, I'll start here. So you want to have offensive form right here, which basically just makes it to where you get, it's basically infinite ammo for the Praxic Blade, but it basically gives it to where landing 3 melee or throw attacks grants ammo, and also increased damage against bosses. I have Forceful Blade 3 on just for the extra impact here. And then the core you want to use is the impact core, because you're going to be hitting most of the time with your sword, so that you can get the scorches, because as you can see it scorches targets since we are using solar. And then I use energy conduit just for the extra health based on the number of targets hit by a thrown sword, because sometimes I throw it. But really, if you feel like you're confident enough, you don't need any of these. You don't have to use this one, I mean. You can use either one of these, but I prefer using the energy conduit. And then these two don't really matter. I just use these for the dungeon. It just makes shooting his hands easier with this and stuff like that. But like I said, this is not just for the dungeon. This is just for endgame content. I will get into Sunbreaker in a second. I'll show the armor mods first. So first we have our helmet here. So you're gonna want to have these two are honestly, in my opinion, whatever you want to stack into. But I was just trying to hit that 100 threshold, so I went with the melee, and then I always use balance tuning unless I know that I need something else here. But I went for melee here, just since we're using a sword, and I also went for weapon too. I know my stats are not great right now because I'm still modifying with stuff, but just upgrading my armor and stuff like that. But yeah, so I use this right here, and then I have 2 special ammo finders so that I can make even more ammo for my Praxic sword, and then a kinetic siphon so that I can create orbs of power for myself as well. Alright, so now for the strongholds. So the strongholds are going to be a big key in the blocking for the sword, because obviously that's how you're going to be making a lot of your restoration. And as you can see, I will never run out, which if you want to, you can go watch my other Praxic build for the blade itself for infinite block. I will link that at the top of your screen. Um, let's see, so back to the strongholds. So this basically is what gives you restoration and also makes it to where you have basically max blocking, which basically just is infinite blocking. And then I gave myself, actually I don't know why I have health on. But let's see, so I use heavy-handed for more orbs of power for my melee. Melee font, it also helps with swords as well. Melee font will also help. And then also I throw on a fastball just because you can't really throw anything else on. Might as well throw that on with the healing grenade. And then that is it for the arms and the helmet, by the way. Chest piece now. So the chest piece, honestly, anything here you could throw on. But I recommend, since you're going to be up and close most of the time, to use concussive and melee damage, just since you're going to be, in point blank range. And then the kinetic ammo generation is what I use to make even more ammo, because this will basically drop. Let's see if I can get one to drop. It'll basically drop little white bricks. I don't know if it'll drop in training. Let's see here. Just for swords kills in general. I don't know if ammo drops. Does not look like ammo will drop here. But yeah, it will basically drop little white bricks that give you a pretty good actually amount of ammo for your sword if you're using the other things along with the mod on the sword. But yeah, so that will be it for the chest piece. Again, these two don't really matter. You pick what you want on there, what you need for your stats. Your legs now. So your legs, as you can see, you throw on a kinetic weapon surge. I throw on 2 of them, just basically gives you more damage on your sword. And because that is mainly what I use during this build. You could realistically probably get away with using this build with anything, but it is definitely for this sword specifically. But you can use like a heavy sword if you want, like this would work. It's just not going to be obviously as much damage, but this works with any sword. I just prefer the Praxic Blade. Anyways, back to the legs, sorry. Invigoration just basically gives you reduced melee cooldown each time you pick an orb of power, which is very helpful. And then your mark is going to, again, whatever you want here. I put distribution on with time dilation and powerful attraction. So this will collect orbs whenever I activate a class ability, and this will also have a longer duration for my armor charges. So again, here is all of the stats if you want to take a screenshot or picture or whatever, just so if you want to use this in the future, you guys can. I also, for the build, also in your artifact, most of them don't really matter, to be honest with you, but I would pick up most of the sword ones on your way here. Like this one's nice to have. Combination Argent Blade is very good as well. Granting bonus damage and charge rate as well helps quite a bit, just for the damage. I also have Kinetic Rupture, which is helpful against combatants, has a chance to create a Kinetic Rupture. Targeting this rupture causes a damage explosive. And then Sword Storm combo is going to be whenever you hit 3 times with a sword, it will put penumbral blades around you, which basically is just going to disorient enemies around you and deal extra damage. So also very helpful. Okay, now back to Sunbreaker. So Sunbreaker, use Hammer Soul, or you can use Burning Maul, but obviously you want to use Hammer Soul. Barricades, I use Rally Barricade. Strafe Lift, you could use whatever you want on these two. Throwing Hammer is very nice to have for the extra restoration, because this also will give you restoration as well. And Soul Invictus, also very helpful. Healing Grenade will also be very, very helpful for you as well, because that is another part of the restoration. And also Cure, because basically whenever you first throw your Healing Grenade down, as you can see here, you get a nice little surge of health there, which is very helpful. And then I use the Roaring Flames aspect and the Soul Invictus aspect, creating sunspots when I use my super for that one, and this just helps stack damage for my solar abilities. Okay, now for the fragments. So you want to use Ember of Ashes, which will basically apply more scorch stacks to targets. Ember of Empyrean, which will give you a increased duration of your Restoration and Radiant, which is why it's for 6 seconds, not 2. Ember of Solace, which also increases duration for Radiance and Restoration. And Ember of Char, because the Solar Ignition spreads Scorch to affect targets. Plus, also you get a 10 grenade stat bonus. And that is it for the Sunbreaker. So that is basically all you need for this build. It is, again, a very simple build to use. Doesn't require much effort. Yeah, so you basically do that, and then you just kind of go around doing whatever you need to do. If you get low, throw your healing grenade down. Get your extra restoration up. And yeah, that is pretty much the entire build. As you can see, you pretty much don't die. I mean, granted, you really don't even need it because, I mean, this alone keeps you alive. But, you know, as you're trying to do damage, that is what helps a lot, especially with the dungeons, raids, whatever you're doing. It all helps a lot. So yeah, that is the build. I hope you guys enjoy this build. If you do, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope you all have a very blessed day. Thank you.